It's episode 8 of To Be Continued With. I'm Mike, and as always, we have BobCatt the Legend providing another hot track for our breakdown of the hit series, WandaVision. If you're new to the channel and you like what you see, hit the bell for notifications and make sure you subscribe. Now, last episode's revelation about Agnes really being Agatha Harkness, we begin with a bit of her backstory. The year is 1693. The place is Salem, Massachusetts. The Salem witch trials were a real thing, and here we see Agatha is bound and being questioned for being a witch. The twist is that she is surrounded by her own coven, who are led by Agatha's mother. For being accused of using magics and betraying them, Agatha is judged and punished by the coven. But something happens because Agatha ends up sucking their powers during the execution. The coven falls to the floor as corpses, and it's just Agatha and her mom.
Round 1, fight!
With Agatha now having the power of all the fallen witches, is staring at her mom, who suddenly realizes
It was at this moment that she knew. She fucked up.
with Agatha being the obvious winner, she flies away, and we pick up from where we left things off on our last episode. Wanda is being held prisoner in Agatha's basement, powerless due to some protection spells that she casts. Agatha schools Wanda on some basic fundamentals of magic, and at the same time is basking in the joy of messing with Wanda's head the whole time. You see, she was looking to find out who was using so much power on so many spells to get her attention. Wanda is basically creating her reality world with magic, and doing so without any real effort. It's basically magic on autopilot. Looking to learn the truth, Agatha takes Wanda and us on a ride through her psyche, and it's a doozy. We check out what's behind door number 1, and we see that Wanda, her parents, and her brother are having movie night in Sokovia when she was just a little kid. With it being her pick on what to watch tonight, and obviously Daddy being a bootlegger, he's got her favorite stash that consists of American sitcoms. Things like the Dick Van Dyke Show, the Brady Bunch, are basically the foundation of her sitcom reality. She picks a Dick Van Dyke Show, and as the episode plays on, the neighborhood and her building gets targeted. With everything in ruins and smoke everywhere, we see Wanda and Pietro laying under some rubble with a Stark missile landing right in front of them, ticking down. With the TV still playing in the background and kind of calming Wanda down, we catch a hint of a hex magic emanating from her hand. Agatha yanks Wanda out of her memory and questions Wanda on using a probability hex to survive. Agatha says that what she sees here is a baby witch obsessed with sitcoms and years of therapy ahead of her. But that still doesn't explain where did she get the big guns from. As door number 2 appears, Wanda doesn't want to go in, but Agatha points out that the only way forward is back. We see Wanda from when she was with her brother, and they volunteered into Hydra to be experimented on. With no other survivors in the program, Wanda not only survives, but ends up interacting with Loki's scepter, which was the power source for Hydra's experiments. She unlocks the Mind Stone within and sees an image in front of her. It's her. It's Wanda. The stone powers her up, and she suddenly collapses. Now Hydra tries to review the footage, but it's edited. It just shows Wanda walking into the chamber and then passed out. She ends up recovering in her cell watching the Betsy Wetsy episode from the Brady Bunch. Agatha puts together that the stone charged her up when basically her powers as a witch would have died out in time. She wants to test a theory, and we get to door number 3. We are at the Avengers compound, directly after the events of Age of Ultron. Now keep in mind, Wanda has lost her brother. Her home and her country are in shambles, and suddenly she is considered a weapon of mass destruction. During some downtime, Vision interrupts her watching Malcolm in the Middle, and they have their moment. You know, where they start catching feelings for one another. Watching this unfold, Agatha actually sheds a tear, and she ends up pushing Wanda to show her what made her get to this point and to what's happening in Westview. Wanda walks through our final door in this Ghost of Christmas Past episode, and she is making her way through the lobby of Sword headquarters. demanding to see Vision's remains because this takes place after Avengers Endgame. She's allowed in, but makes it known that she is not playing around today. She's greeted by Director Hayward, who shows her Vision's body and it's being dismantled. He lets her know that there's no way that he can let her walk out of here with a $3 billion weapon simply to bury it in the dirt. He's literally showing us why he's the big dick of this series. We also see things play out completely different than what we thought. Yes, Wanda does break into the facility and she does get up close and personal with Vision's remains, but she simply walks out. She's in sorrow and complete sadness. Nothing like the way Hayward made it sound a few episodes back when he painted Wanda as the enemy. Now, as Wanda sits in her car, she picks up a property deed in the passenger seat. It seems to be something that her and Vision were planning for. A simple life in New Jersey. We then see her entering the town of Westview. We see our supporting cast members in their real lives prior to the Hex as she travels through town. Wanda pulls into the lot for the deed and has a complete meltdown. With power surging out of her, she is building a home from nothing. She's changing the town and expanding her Hex as we witness her creating her reality with magic that's powered by an Infinity Stone and fueled by her breakdown. She recreates a brand new Vision. Things settle down and everything turns black and white, with Vision turning to her to say, "Wanda, welcome home." We end the scene with Wanda realizing that she's in a TV studio and Agatha is the only one clapping because she's the only one sitting in the studio audience. With a snap and some smoke, Agatha's gone. Wanda exits stage left and now stands outside of her and Agatha's homes in Westview, only to see Agatha holding Billy and Tommy hostage. Agatha explains to Wanda and to us that the reason Wanda has no idea what she's doing is because she's supposed to be a myth, a being, a spontaneous creation. She tells Wanda that this whole little life she's made is chaos magic. With that being said, that makes Wanda the Scarlet Witch. Our episode comes to an end, but keep in mind, there is an after credits scene. It sets the bar just a bit higher for a what the fuck moment, because Director Hayward powers up Project Cataracts. He's basically using Hex energy that he captured from the drone with Wanda's encounter into a rebuilt Vision. Basically, a Spectrum Vision, or for the comic geeks, the White Vision. Now, I love the nods to comic book history that we get from this series. I love everything from Agatha's backstory to going down memory lane via Wanda. But to think, this all started out with many saying, "What the fuck?" just from the first 2 episodes. And here we are, with 1 episode left to a phenomenal series. If you like what you've been hearing, again, hit subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Follow my man BobCatt the Legend on his YouTube channel right here, and keep vibing with him on his Spotify page. And for those of you that are on Facebook, I want you to search for To Be Continued With, the Facebook page. This is Mike, and this isn't the end, it's simply To Be Continued With.